From the studios of Farm Journal Broadcast, this is U.S. Farm Report.
Welcome to U.S. Farm Report this weekend. I'm Tyne Morgan. We are on the road from World Pork Expo here in Des Moines, Iowa. And here's what's in store over the next 60 minutes. Pork producers' outlooks have improved.
I do think we see overall stronger prices here in 2025 compared to 2024.
But how are the questions surrounding tariffs influencing what's been robust demand for exports? Meat is having a moment.
I think as you think forward, I see the next 2 or 3 years as being the years of protein. It's that side of the fence in agriculture that's going to do very well.
Record demand for protein, but one monthly monitor says May did show some pause. And reviving consumers' hunger for pork.
If we want to protect the long-term position of the 60,000 farmers we represent, we have to do this.
How the pork industry is rebranding, hoping to serve up more demand. Two Chinese nationals with ties to the University of Michigan charged with allegedly trying to smuggle a potential agro-terrorism weapon into the country. Investigators say a 33-year-old woman now in custody worked in a lab at the university. They say she is loyal to the Chinese Communist Party. Her 34-year-old boyfriend is also accused. Federal agents say the boyfriend was caught trying to smuggle a fungus that causes head blight into the country. The fungus can be devastating to wheat, barley, corn, and rice. The head of the FBI, Kash Patel, is speaking out. In a post on X, he said, quote, "This case is a sobering reminder that the Chinese Communist Party is working around the clock to deploy operatives and researchers to infiltrate American institutions and target our food supply, which would have grave consequences, putting American lives and our economy at serious risk," end quote. We have been working to learn more about the case and the fungus involved in the investigation. You'll find out more at agweb.com. And a USDA employee and 5 other people are charged in what authorities are calling one of the largest food stamp frauds in U.S. history. You're looking at the names of the defendants in the case on your screen. They have all been charged with conspiracy to steal government funds and to misappropriate USDA benefits. Arlissa Davis is the USDA employee accused in the case. A U.S. attorney says Davis betrayed the public trust by selling confidential government information to the very criminals she was supposed to catch. One investigator says Davis assisted her co-conspirators in exploiting the SNAP program, creating more than $66 million in unauthorized transactions. A news release says starting in 2019, Michael Kehoe is alleged to have created a network supplying 160 unauthorized electronic benefit transfer cards using the SNAP program to stores across the New York area. The group is also alleged to have created fake USDA applications, misappropriated license numbers, and doctored application documents for unauthorized stores. If found guilty, some of the suspects could face up to 20 years in prison. And of interest to pork producers here at World Pork Expo, an Illinois plant operated by Johnsonville suddenly shutting its doors. A WARN notice shows Moments Packing laid off 274 people. The company says employees will receive pay and benefits for 60 days. A spokesperson for the sausage company saying in a statement they made the difficult decision after evaluating how best to optimize operations to address current and future growth. Well, U.S. prices for steel and aluminum surged earlier this week. That's after President Trump announced he would double the tariffs on them to 50%. President Trump says the increase would further secure the steel industry in the U.S. The U.S. is the world's largest steel importer, excluding the EU, with a total of 26.2 million tons of steel imported last year alone. The doubling of steel and aluminum levies came just hours after he accused China of violating an agreement with the U.S. to mutually roll back tariffs and trade restrictions for critical minerals. The EU condemning the decision, warning the hike adds further uncertainty to the global economy and that it may impose countermeasures in response. Well, moods are definitely better here at World Pork Expo this year, but farmer sentiment last month climbed to the highest level since May of 2021. That's according to the latest reading of the Ag Economy Barometer. The monthly monitor from Purdue University and the CME Group are rising to 158 points. That's 10 points higher than in April. Surveyors say that's because farmers were more optimistic about current conditions and their expectations for the future.
We've been asking producers their expectations for ag exports going back to 2019. And this month, the percentage of producers who said they expect exports to increase over the next 5 years skyrocketed to 52%. That's up from just 33% who felt that way a month earlier.
All right, that's it for the news. When we come back, the weather this week has been ideal here in Des Moines, but heavy rains continue to hammer areas that don't need it. Ag meteorologist Eric Snodgrass joins us next to talk about how the wet spring could impact drought this summer.
U.S. Farm Report is brought to you by Pioneer. Next level yields start with genetics proven to perform. Pioneer. Next level yields start here.